Hi, I've been sick. I have tonsillitis or something, but I'm on antibiotics now for the last few days. Tomorrow's a fun day. I am going to replace our 20-gallon water pressure tank with an 86-gallon water pressure tank. So that means we can pressure wash again. Because really, I felt super bad about the pump. I just feel like there's too much on it. When I first hooked up this tank, I didn't do any tweaks to the box because everything seemed to be working fine until my son hooked up the pressure washer. And that thing was like having seizures. So I adjusted it. Everything's been good since, but it switches on, runs for 15 seconds, fills the tank, switches off. And that's not a good thing. You really want it to switch on, fill a bigger tank, and then switch off and have larger gaps between running. So anyway, stoked about that. I mean, when your pressure tank breaks in December and you've got kids that you're planning, oh yeah, Christmas and all this stuff. Oh, that was a bummer. Also, at the same time, I had a child at home with COVID, so I just had to grab a tank and get home and deal with that. It was a messy situation. Anyway, I also have been working on painting my room finally. Just I'm finally getting around to it, but it took me getting sick and being kind of trapped at home to work on that. So that's good. But yeah, I'm probably gonna film the swap out of the tanks tomorrow. I do need to get a pressure relief valve. I don't have one on this setup, but I feel like with an 86-gallon tank, better safe than sorry. I'll just get it. Forgot to get it the other day because all I really needed to buy the tank was the tank. I have all the other plumbing crap at home because, I mean, if I have extra, I'm not going to throw it away. And I'm probably not going to return it unless it's something I'm never ever going to use. But the point is, I've got pipe sizes ranging from the different CPVCs to the PVCs, and those run from 3/4 to 2 inches, and just a lot of fittings and all that crap. So anyway, have a good night. And wish me luck getting better because this thing is dragging out. I was supposed to start a project last week, and the homeowner was very graceful about letting me take a bit of time to get better. I still feel like I crawled out of a trash compactor. Anyway, have a good night. Hello. I am still sick. So it's been, I don't know, Tuesday of last week. It's Thursday afternoon now. I've been on antibiotics since Friday, but this thing got down into my lungs and all my numbers, like my resting heart rate, and I can't remember what it's called, but it has to do with the timing of, I believe, the QRS. I could be messing this all up. I have not been sick like this in a long time. I had COVID in December, and that really, really, really knocked me down. But for whatever reason, this feels worse. I don't know what it is, but there's just too many things going on. So anyway, I did end up switching out the pressure tanks on the well. Had a 20-gallon on there as sort of like a placeholder. That, and I wanted to see, will this work? Will this work for us? Immediately after installing that, my oldest son decided that he wanted to start taking baths rather than showers. Like, I'm not kidding you. He was out of town when I replaced the tank, which was because my youngest had COVID. Not youngest. My youngest son had COVID. So it was just me and him in the house. I had to kick out my older son. My daughter could not come up. It was a mess. Our bladder on the other tank, we had a 36 gallon bladder ruptured during one of those freezes. And a lot of people have said, they're like, oh no, there'd be enough water in there, it'd be fine. I'm telling you, this is Florida, we had 2 freezes in a row, and this is on an old tank. Like, I'm pretty sure this was the original tank. So it would have been almost 20 years old. And 2 nights of 21 degrees, which for Florida, we don't have things insulated like that. The well and all of its pipes and all of everything just sits outside. So when it's at 21 degrees for 10 hours, and then the same thing happens the next night, yeah, it's a problem. I did put some basic insulating wrap on the water lines coming out of the well and going into the house. It wasn't heat tape under the insulation, it was just some insulation. I did leave a faucet dribbling, but I would also get up every, I don't know if it was every hour and a half or 2 hours, and turn on turn on the water, run the water. I had alarms set constantly because we are not equipped to deal with that type of weather. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's why the bladder ruptured. Although it was an old tank, so who knows. Anyway, I got a 20 gallon. Part of it was, let's see if this works. But another part was, it was December. I had all of Christmas planned out. I knew what the budget was. Because of COVID, work had sort of slowed down, like not to a detrimental point, but I'm a single income household. It's just me. So everything sort of lives and dies with me. Like, if I can't pull it in, we don't have it. And I had just decided to take out a loan and pay off all my credit cards because the interest rate I would get on that was absolutely amazing compared to what I was paying for those credit cards. Oh, Bob's gonna get mad at me. Hold on. There you go. Okay. Oh, that's not comfortable. Anyway, so I recently went out and got an 86 gallon tank. What the 20 gallon did though was allow me to isolate and repair a few leaks I would not have otherwise picked up on as quickly, because when you're sleeping, like, the well is right outside my bedroom window. I mean, maybe 15 feet. I hear it kick on. You're in the silence of the night. Everyone's been asleep for hours. And then the well kicks on. Something's wrong. Like, That's, like, my first thing, my first response was always to double check, is anyone awake? And then to kind of go through my head. Did I start laundry? Did I run the dishwasher? Did I this, that, or the other? Because occasionally, I noticed with that tank, I have it on a 30-50 switch, and it would get close to 30, but not quite be to the point where it would set off the switch. And it would sort of hover at that bottom level. Man, my hands are disgusting. That's rheumatoid arthritis for you. Anyway, so Just lost my train of thought. I'm looking at a mail truck. It's raining. And I'm just trying to go get the kids from school. That's all. I have taken 1, 2... Okay. I didn't take all the days off work for being sick. I did have to take a few days off because the tires on my truck needed to be replaced. And I knew that, and I was planning on that. Well, the driver's side front tire got a tear in the sidewall. At that point, it's not, oh yeah, let me drive an hour to a job site and then an hour back through traffic when there is a tear in the sidewall, because I have to be on the highway for a lot of that. No bueno. Not happening. Not going to do it. I have been on that highway going 80 miles an hour. It was my mom's minivan, and I had noticed for a long time that the car would like vibrate. It would just sort of like at certain speeds. So if you, I think it was between 50 and 75, it would like shake, and the shake would just get really bad in the van. And then once it hit like closer, like 78, 80, the shake would stop. And I was like, oh, okay, something's up. I've had a car before, that's my electronic braking system. This light goes off at this part of the road pretty much without fail. No, Dodge doesn't know what to do with it. The forums haven't given me any good answers. Anyway, so with this van, you know, I knew something was going on, because if there's a vibration in a car at certain speeds, there's usually a problem with the tire, the tie rods, the axles, the alignment, what have you. Maybe a boot or a bushing is gone. Maybe whatever. There's a lot. Maybe something's wrong with the transmission, the torque converter, you know? That's what's telling the tires to go at the revolutions they're going. That's what helps you turn a corner, you know? So I had a car once. It was a manual, what was this thing? It was a Hyundai, not a Santa Fe. Oh, no, a Kia Sportage, which Kia and Hyundai, I think, are the same company. Anyway, it was a Kia Sportage, manual. I mean, it worked out for the most part, except when my son was 4. I can't remember why. Oh, because we were just literally going down the road. He always wanted to be in the front seat. Like, always. Oh, no, maybe he wasn't 4. Maybe he was like 5 or 6. Anyway, that child was born at 9 pounds. So, by the time he was big enough to sit without a car seat in the back, he shouldn't have been sitting in the front for multiple reasons. One was that he kicked the gear shift while I was driving. Usually he wouldn't be up in the front, so normally it wouldn't even be a thought in my head. Anyway, that car, I was driving home one day. I'm going down the main road to get to our dirt road, and I was almost to our dirt road. Like, I was like, we called it the curves in the road. I was at the curves in the road. And the car had the same thing. It had this vibration. And I remember that day pulling over so many times to look at the tires. So many times. People were like, you are crazy, because I was driving people around and dropping them off. Like, a girlfriend of mine got in a fight with her boyfriend, and she's like, hey, come get me. And I was like, yeah, sure, because she was a good friend of mine. I wasn't gonna leave her where there was, you know, anxiety and stress. Let me breathe for a minute and come back to this. Hey. Okay, I am running out to get some waterproofer. Probably a 5-gallon bucket, just because of the space I'm dealing with here. Anyway, I was going over a video I'm debating whether I'm going to split it into 2 parts or just put it all together. I don't know. That's not really my style. I don't want to overwhelm people. But I was talking about the tire on, the tires on 2 different vehicles and what went wrong. At the moment, I was speaking about the Kia Sportage, and that particular day I was having issues with the tire that I noticed that I could feel. Kept pulling over and checking it, and then as I was almost home, going about 55 miles an hour down this country road, the tread came off the tire. It was a retread. I don't think they sell those anymore, but I didn't know it was a retread, and apparently the tire had become egg-shaped, which is that feeling I was getting, that odd, unbalanced vibration almost in the car. Just something wasn't quite right. Now with the minivan, and this happened year before last, I was going 80 miles an hour down I-75 on my way to get the kids from school, and I was in a big old hurry because I was working, and whenever I have to get the kids and I'm working, I leave at the last possible second, and they know I'm going to show up late. I typically have to call the school and let them know. But what happened there was a very similar thing where the tire had sort of changed its shape because it was so old and in such bad condition. It burst. It burst while I was driving down the road at 80 miles an hour. Terrifying moment. Absolutely terrifying. I'm sure I screamed. I'm sure. Luckily, because of the way the spare is kept in that car, it is taken down from the driver's side, and because I was in the fast lane and I pulled over into that center median when the I can't remember what the patrol is called, road rangers, when the road rangers, and they appeared like Batman, boom, there they were. I didn't call them. It must have been a trucker, because there were very few cars on the road when this happened, thank God. It would have been so bad. It would have been so bad if that had been congested at the time of the incident. But what happened is they appeared, and I was literally just sitting in the car with my phone in my lap in shock. I didn't know who to call. My mother was out on the river with her husband. This was pre-heart attack. And I was just sitting there thinking to myself, I know nobody in this town. I have no way to get help. I did have AAA, but I needed help now. I didn't have time to wait. They needed to be picked up from school. So I ended up calling the school and telling them, this is what just happened. I'm going to be late. There's no way around it. Anyway, the point is, so when I got problems with the tires I was driving on, and I found out there was a tear in the sidewall on the front driver tire. Just a tear on any sidewall is a reason for alarm. But knowing there was a tear on that sidewall, I started monitoring it very closely as I'm checking tire prices and what I wanted to go with next. Did I want highway tires? Did I want all-terrain tires? Did I want mud tires? What did I want to do? And because you don't get new tires every month or so, you get new tires like a couple times a year, so you pick the ones you want. It's a lot of money, because it's not just the tires. You have to have them put on. You have to have a plan for your old tires. Are you having them disposed of? Are you keeping them? I kept a couple of mine that were still in good shape for spares. And you need an alignment. And if there's anything else when they're changing the tires, like, oh, hey, your brakes are bad or whatever. And I've had bad alignments too. I've had alignments done or they did not tighten the bolts. Doesn't work if you do it that way. The alignment does not work. So that happened on Emma, my truck at home. This truck does not have a name. She needs a name. I tried calling her Lucy, tried calling her Alice. I don't know. It's a black Ram. It's a black Ram 4x4 crew cab, a 2018. I can't think of a name, so maybe one of you can name her. I mean, anyway. So, wish me luck at work today. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I get to break a lot of concrete. It's mostly gonna be prep and demolition, but because of being sick and because of the whole tire thing, I am a couple weeks behind the loop. So I don't truly know what has happened in the time I've been gone. I do know that Chuck, another guy who's working on it, has been waiting on me to chip out for the bathtub drain and make a new pathway for the toilet, because I'm moving the toilet and the vanity. They're basically switching spots. And I'm sorry about the light. I don't control the sun. Anyway, I'm at Home Depot now, so I'm gonna go in and get my waterproofer and try not to spend too much time looking at toys so I can get my butt to work. Y'all have a lovely day. And let me know what you prefer to see videos about, and then as far as the length of the videos, because I do kind of want my channel to grow. And honestly, it crossed my mind that this may become more of a mental health channel, because when I go back through the videos that I filmed and not published, the majority of them are talking about my personal struggles with mental health, as far as PTSD, OCD, generalized anxiety disorder. All those things crop up so frequently. It dominates my content, if you will. Anyway, I don't want to disappoint you guys. If you just want me to be honest and tell you stories about my life, because boy, I could tell you some sad things about my life. I could tell you some interesting things about my life. If you just want to know who I am and what I'm about and the things I've been through and all that, let me know. I will tell you. I have no qualms giving you this information, because that was something that was brought up a long time ago, is that my sister always said that I should be a writer, because I used to be a really good storyteller. And it wasn't like fabricated stories. It was literally telling the story of what happened. And I guess the verbiage I used, or the way I said it, or the way I would get animated about things, just drew people in. So I'm hoping I can get that back. And maybe I can just share some stories from my life. I am going to make a video regardless about when my 29-year-old sister died, because that is a story. That is a story. Before, during, and after was a lot. Just the whole thing is so crazy. But yeah, so that's coming up. That'll probably be my next one, unless something interesting goes on with one of these jobs. Filming working is really hard. Anybody who's done it knows. I like to work quickly. That's hard to do if you're trying to film. So anyway, have a good day.